Welcome to Reviews That Scare with Jess and Blair. I'm Jess.
I'm Blair.
Blair, how are you?
I'm doing good, man. How about yourself?
I am over the moon. I am doing extremely well. It
Good
is
to hear.
officially October, aka the most wonderful month of the year.
It really is. It's our Christmas.
We had mentioned that it is going to be a jam-packed month for us. I did the math yesterday. I think we're on par for like 13, 14 episodes this month.
Jesus.
But not only that, we're starting strong. This episode will be the first of many bonus episodes for this month, which I am very excited about. But before we dive into this week's bonus episode, I say, what do you say we chat a little bit about some horror news? But I don't have any horror news.
I don't either.
I know you don't have any horror news. So let's just jump right into the bonus episodes. These will come out every Friday, and we'll just be exploring the Simpsons Treehouse of Horrors.
Yeah, I'm so excited for that, man.
Me too. So what better way to start season 2, the very first Treehouse of Horror. This one aired October 25th, 1990.
That's
season
insane.
2, episode 3. What do you say we dive into some fun facts on this one? You got any fun facts for Treehouse of Horrors episode 1?
Well, first, I just want to say I love the intro that Marge gives, the little warning for all the kids. And they do that the first 5 or so Treehouse of Horror episodes, and then they got rid of it.
We love our intros, and we'll chat a little bit more about that in likes and dislikes. But yeah, agreed. Love the intro from Marge.
The next one you already said, it's the first Treehouse of Horror episode, but it wasn't released until the second season.
Yeah.
And the episode as a whole was inspired by Tales from the Crypt series, which is pretty cool.
Just kind of a nice anthology. I love the Treehouse of Horror.
My last fun fact I have on this episode is the opening scene, which showcases the gravestones. In this episode, they all read Ishmael, Ezekiel, and Cornelius Simpson.
Okay.
As well as Garfield.
Okay.
The Grateful Dead.
Okay.
Casper the Friendly Boy. I guess.
All right.
I guess they didn't want to get sued for that one.
Right.
Elvis, Paul McCartney.
Okay, Paul McCartney is dead. Yeah.
Disco, and even a grave that just said your name here, which I thought was hilarious. This was used sporadically in the Treehouse of Horror series, but was eventually dropped. So they don't use it anymore.
I was going to say the Treehouse of Horrors are kind of known for the goofy headstones, but also the goofy end credit names or title credit names, which this one does not have.
Which was a shock to see that, man.
I think it's the only one that does not have the goofy, scary credit names.
Yeah, which I love.
I got a couple fun facts here. This is the only Treehouse of Horror special that takes place in a treehouse.
Fair enough.
Yeah. This one is also the first appearance of Kang and Kodos, the drooling, lovable aliens from the planet Rigel 8.
I was wondering if that was their first appearance or not.
First appearance,
that's pretty cool.
And there's also the only appearance of Shyrock, who is the third alien, but I don't believe appears again.
Okay.
And then finally, this episode premiered on Nancy Cartwright's 33rd birthday. Nancy Cartwright, of course, does the voice of El Barto, a.k.a. Bart Simpson.
And probably many other characters, I'm sure.
I think does a couple, yeah, for sure. This one, like Blairski was saying, it's an anthology. It's 3 different episodes. So written by Jay Krogan and Wallace Wolodarski. They did the segment Hungry Are the Damned, which was the second segment of the night. Also written by John Swartzwilder. He did Bad Dream House, which was the first segment of the night. And then wrapping it up, we had The Raven, written, of course, by Edgar Allan Poe and Sam Simon. Sam Simon, I believe, just added in the Eat My Shorts.
Yeah.
Because the rest of it was pretty true to Edgar Allan Poe's The Raven. This one, of course, starring Dan Castellaneta as Castellaneta. I don't know if that's how you pronounce the last name, but as Homer Simpson and Kodos. Julie Kavner as Marge Simpson, Nancy Cartwright as Bart Simpson, Yeardley Smith as Lisa Simpson, Harry Shearer as Evil Laugh, The House, and Kang. And this one, special guest star, the one, the only, the legendary James Earl Jones in numerous roles. Yeah.
I didn't even notice that.
So he played Shyrock, and then he played, he was in every single episode. He was the narrator in The Raven.
I was just about to say he must have been the narrator in The Raven.
Yeah, and he was at the beginning of the first segment. He was the moving guy. But, the legendary James Earl Jones, pretty cool. This one's synopsis, courtesy of our good friends at IMDb. The Simpsons move into a cursed house, then are abducted by aliens before Homer is ensconced in a tale by Edgar Allan Poe.
Yep.
Great. Perfect synopsis. Of course, we had already mentioned 3 segments in this one, as is common with Treehouse of Horror, Bad Dream House, Hungry Are the Damned, and The Raven. This leads to our first segment of the night, Kill Count. Blairski, is there a kill count for this one? I'm not sure.
I'm not sure because I wasn't looking for that.
Which is fine. I'm trying to think back. I can't think of any on the top of my head. Does Homer's character die in The Raven at the end? Possibly.
Maybe
he goes crazy.
You could count the house in the first one.
The house, yeah,
killing
implodes. Yeah, killing itself rather than living with the Simpsons, which is a great punch joke at the end. Very, very funny joke.
Oh, man.
Let's move right along to likes and dislikes, shall we?
Yeah. I will start with that. That was my favorite of the segments.
Okay.
Bad Dream House. That was my favorite of the 3. I loved it. Several haunted house films were parodied in that first segment, including House of Usher, The Haunting, the Amityville Horror, which to me was very noticeable, and even The Shining, which was our last episode we recorded.
Yeah, absolutely. I got to Amityville for sure with like the bleeding walls and things like that, which I believe happened at the actual Amityville house. But
It's super cool. There's that one scene when Maggie does the Exorcist head twist.
Yeah.
Which I absolutely loved.
Yep.
I'm going to tell you my favorite scene in this segment, and it's when Marge is making our favorite sandwiches.
Yeah, of course. We love sandwiches.
And then she catches the rest of the family walking circle trying to kill each other. And just yells at them to stop, and they all just just stop. Yeah. And just drop all their weapons. Sorry. Just like apologize to each other. I found that hilarious, man.
Marge is a very strong character in this opening segment. Not only does she put the family back into place, but she puts the house into place as well.
Oh, does she ever?
Yeah, absolutely. I actually have that as one of the lines of the night when she confronts the family as they're all trying to kill each other.
Yeah,
I love the first segment. I love the first segment. It's great. I love how these are like completely out of the realm of regular Simpsons episodes. They just kind of throw them into these weird situations. I love it.
There's one scene where they find all the tombstones in the basement, like the Indian burial ground.
Yeah.
I did notice one of them read Pocahontas, but I also noticed that one of the tombstones down in the basement said "Crazy Horse," and the one right beside it said "Not So Crazy Horse."
Not So Crazy Horse. Okay.
Which I thought hilarious, man.
Right after that, there's a scene where Homer angrily calls the person who sold them the house. And basically says that if I knew that it was, built on a Native American burial ground, we never would have bought this house. And then there's this confusion where Homer was told multiple times.
Yeah, he's like, oh, he told me. He said he told me 8 times.
Yeah.
And then that was it. Yeah. And Homer's like totally believed it. He's like, oh, okay.
I've said this before in my personal life, and I'll say it again. Homer is the best character on The Simpsons.
I agree.
He's not my favorite, but Homer J. Simpson is the best character on the show. He's stupid. He's lovable. He's hilarious. He's ignorant. He's everything balled into one. He's the best character on the show.
I find when it comes to adult cartoons, it's always the dad figure that's the best characters. Like Homer Simpson in The Simpsons, you got Peter Griffin and Family Guy.
Absolutely.
Marsh's dad, Randy, in
Yeah,
South
in South
Park,
Park. Yeah,
right?
absolutely. Yeah. This one, I mean, it's season 2 of The Simpsons, so they're still trying to figure it out. I would say by season 3, The Simpsons is like the show.
Yeah.
I would say, honestly, from season 3 till season 9, they have no duds. Like, it is just the strongest show. But they started off really strong with this Treehouse of Horror.
Yeah, they really did, man.
I love that they got James Earl Jones.
Yeah, that's pretty awesome. I didn't realize it at the time, man.
Again, season 2 of a show, so they're still trying to figure it out. And they got one of the biggest legends of film and the stage with James Earl Jones. Like, how crazy is that?
Like nowadays, it's an honor, like to be featured on The Simpsons for sure.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
yeah. Season 2, you're right. Like they're just starting off.
yeah. Unreal. So you said the first segment of the episode was your favorite. I have to say the second segment, the one that's playing behind you right now,
Oh, okay, yeah.
was Hungry Are the Damned was my favorite segment, and that is honestly because of Kang and Kodos. I
Yeah.
love Kang and Kodos. They're so ridiculous.
It's great. Did you know the cookbook in this episode? Like the how to cook. It ended up being
how to cook for 40 humans.
For 40 humans or something like that.
Yeah.
That is a reference to the 1962 Twilight Zone episode To Serve Man, apparently.
Okay, I did not know that, but I love that. Love the Twilight Zone.
I know you do. I know you. It's a fun fact, but I saved that from when we were actually talking about the episode.
Love that.
And I also found it really funny when Homer needed 2 teleportation rays to get him on the ship.
It's very much a punch at Homer. It's, it's the family has no problem. And even him just like, the family's gazing up into this UFO and Homer's just worried about, well, the food's getting cold.
Yeah.
And that, they need the 2 beams of light to carry
pull
Homer up to
up.
the space. Great sight gag. Really
so
funny.
Good. And the spaceship's like shaking at the same time. They just can't stay still.
Really putting in a major effort. Yeah, this it's so good. I love any time the Simpson family is together.
Yeah.
And you see that a lot with the Treehouse of Horrors. They're all together, and they're so good as an ensemble.
Even when they're not playing The Simpsons. A lot of the Treehouse of Horror episodes are playing different characters.
Yeah,
but they're still all together. And then it's just great.
Yeah, it was great. I'm trying to think of what else. I'm gonna chat about the Raven here. I just really like that they used the complete unedited text of the Raven.
It is pretty cool. For me, honestly, the Raven was my least favorite segment.
Yeah.
But to be fair, it is really cool that they used the actual work from Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah, apparently Matt Groening, the creator of The Simpsons, was afraid it would come off as like really pretentious.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I don't know if it necessarily fits in with the other 2 segments of the episode.
Yeah, it doesn't to me. To me, it reminded me a lot of Dr. Seuss.
Okay, just the rhyming and
just the rhyming,
like
just how the rhyming was going. It very much reminded me of Dr. Seuss. And even knowing it's an Edgar Allan Poe story, I just kept thinking Dr. Seuss.
You almost have to readjust just because the first episodes are so stupid.
Yeah.
The writing is really, really good. But it's so stupid as compared to, this highbrow piece of text written by one of the greatest poets, writers of all time, Edgar Allan Poe.
Yeah.
It kind of caught me off guard. I mean, I've seen this episode a million times, but it still catches me off guard as being like, oh, that's an interesting choice.
Yeah, for me, watching the episode, I watched this episode 3 times in preparation just to talk about it with you. Yeah. And every time it got to the Raven, I was just like,
yeah.
I'm really excited to see the first 2 segments over and over again, right? So,
and it maybe feels like the longest segment of them all. And I don't actually know if it is. I just feel like because it is very text heavy, you're really paying attention to the text.
Yeah.
It maybe just seems like it's a little bit longer.
I do like how the Raven is Bart Simpson's face, though.
Yeah, yeah, and I do appreciate that the Raven at one point does say "Eat my shorts,"
Yeah, true
which
that.
is not written by Edgar Allan Poe.
No, it's not. Can you imagine?
Now, we had talked about briefly the intro,
Yes.
and how great it was. I love the whole setup where she's basically advising us not to watch this,
Yeah.
which I love. It makes us want to watch it even more.
And I think it
Um,
actually did that.
Oh,
Yeah,
100%.
it did
Yeah.
that for sure.
Yeah. It's just the perfect way to set up um, some of the best Simpson episodes, which is the Treehouse of Horror.
I watch them every Halloween, man. Every Halloween season, I'll watch all of them.
Me too. I always looking forward when I'm watching it, starting with episode 1, watching it through. I always get really excited when I come across the Treehouse of Horror. They're great.
For sure, man.
So we talked about the intro, we talked about the segments. What did you think about the in-between, the feed-through lines? So basically the kids are telling scary stories in the treehouse, and Homer, who is out trick-or-treating,
Is listening in.
is eavesdropping in.
Yeah.
And
So-
he is terrified.
Well, that's what I love about it. So I love how the whole time it's just Bart and Lisa, and Maggie's up there too, I guess.
Yeah.
But they're just sharing these stories back and forth, trying to scare one another.
Yeah.
No one's getting scared. Nothing's working. Everyone's like, these stories are lame. And then it just shows Homer outside listening in, and he's just shivering and
Shivering. He is terrified. And he's shivering really mostly by the end of it after hearing the Raven.
The Raven, yeah.
Yeah. I love it. Honestly, I have written down here, it's season 2 of The Simpsons. There is very little to dislike.
Yeah, fair enough. Man.
It only gets better here for the next, I don't know. Yeah, 9 seasons or so.
They still make episodes to this day, and they're still good. But I agree
absolutely.
with you. The first 9 seasons were the prime.
I feel like The Simpsons get, part of my French, shit on all the time now.
Yeah.
But it's maybe that they're just not as consistent as they were in their prime.
Mm-hmm.
And really, they were in their prime for 9-10 seasons, and then they're still really good episodes. But I would say, maybe only half of the episodes in the season are really, really strong episodes. You have a couple filler episodes, and then you have some not so strong, forgettable episodes.
Yeah.
We always compare them to the earlier seasons. Even season 1, it's like, oh, this is tough to watch. But season 2, season 3, it's like, okay, here we go.
But the animation itself is so different between season 1 and 2. It's crazy.
Yeah.
And it's because the Simpsons, they've just done everything to this point. Like, they've done everything. I think there's even a Family Guy or a South Park episode where I think the episode's called Simpsons Did It.
Yeah.
And they just keep trying to come up with ideas, and it's just like, Simpsons did it.
It's already been done.
Yeah, already been done.
I've got nothing more to say about likes and dislikes. This was great.
Yeah, let's move on, man.
Well, let's move right along to our next segment, which is, of course, lessons we learned from watching the very first Treehouse of Horrors.
Lessons we learned from watching. Insert title of movie here.
The segment of the show where we talk about the valuable life lessons we learned from watching said TV episode. Blairski, you want to kick this off?
I've only got one thing written down, and it's from the segment Hungry Are the Damned. Mm-hmm. And I learned that the language of Rigelian is, in fact, the exact same as English.
Yeah, I wrote that down as well. Yeah, exactly the same.
Yeah, exactly the same.
I love that. I've got a couple here. Trick-or-treating has no age limit. Exhibit A, Homer Simpson. All you need is a costume.
True that.
I also have, if a menacing voice in a newly bought house tells you to get out, don't be alarmed. It's probably just the house settling in. I also had, if you find a vortex leading to another dimension in your house, don't throw trash into it.
Right. Fucking Homer.
And then finally, I have The Raven was written in 1845.
That's wild.
Wild. This leads to our next segment, Line of the Night.
Line of the night. Line of the night. Line of the night. Line of the night. Line of the night. Line of the night. Line of the night. Line of the night. Line of the night.
The segment of the show where we discuss our favorite lines from the TV show. They might give us chills, they might give us the giggles, All we know is that they are our favorites. Blairski, do you have any good lines from this one?
So I've got 3. I have one from every segment.
Perfect.
So on the first segment, when they find the ancient burial ground in the basement that we were talking about earlier, Bart just goes, "Wow, this place has everything."
That's great.
It's like the most haunted house, bleeding from the walls. You got an ancient burial ground in the basement. Bart's so excited about it all.
So says everything. Yeah.
Hungry are the damned when the aliens say HBO costs extra.
Yeah. They have like thousands of channels except for HBO.
Except for HBO because it costs extra. And we know all about subscription services, don't we?
Oh boy, do we ever. Yeah.
The last one was in the Raven. I don't know. Is it in the Raven? I can't remember. But Bart says, "Wait, that's a school book." Lisa replies, "Don't worry, Bart. You won't learn anything."
The
beginning of the Raven, right?
The lead-in treehouse segment leading into the Raven. Yeah, absolutely.
Raven. I just thought it was hilarious.
Just a nice little shot from Lisa, which is great.
So scared. It's wait, that's a school book. Don't worry. You're not going to learn anything from it.
Yeah.
That was a great, man.
Nice, good ones. I've got a few here. Marge, in the very first segment, Bad Dream House, walks in on the rest of the family circling each other with knives and says, "This family has had its differences, and we've squabbled, but we've never had knife fights before." Which I thought was great.
I almost wrote that one down too. That's hilarious.
Got one from Homer in the segment Hungry Are the Damned. Well, at the barbecue, he says, "Man alive, there's nothing better than a hamburger grilled to perfection."
Yeah, so true.
Agreed, yeah. Kang in the segment Hungry Are the Damned says to the Simpsons, "Come, Earthlings, eat, grow large with food." Love that. Homer in the segment Hungry Are the Damned says to the space creatures, "Listen, you big, stupid space creatures, nobody eats the Simpsons."
You know how the whole time they're like, "No, we really wanted to just spoil you humans." And Can you really blame Lisa for thinking that they're trying to eat them? I'm like, the way they're acting the entire time.
Well, they're these menacing space creatures, and then the gag bit with the book as well. Yeah. I mean, I'm not surprised that they thought they were maybe going to be eaten.
Yeah, no kidding, right? I would have been pro Lisa if I was there for sure. Yeah,
I got a couple more here. Bear with me. What do we got? Kang in the segment Hungry Are the Damned says, "Well, if you wanted to make Shyrock the Preparer cry, mission accomplished." I've got 3 more, all from the segment The Raven. Bart as the Raven in the segment The Raven says numerous times, "Nevermore."
He does.
He also says, "Eat my shorts."
He does.
And then Homer in the segment The Raven, I love this. He says, "Come back here, you little raven," which I thought was great. Oh, goodness. That's all I have for Line of the Night.
That's great.
This leads to, I don't have anything here, but this leads to our favorite segment of the night, Celebrity Lookalike Time.
Celebrity Lookalike Time.
Blairski, do you have anything for Celebrity Lookalike Time?
It's more of a celebrity sound alike time, and it's for the first segment. I actually found when the house talked.
Yep.
It reminded me of Donald Trump.
Okay.
He sounded exactly like the way Donald Trump talks. It's so funny, man. Maybe, I don't know if it's like actual Donald Trump or like SNL's version of Donald Trump. You know what I mean?
Over the top.
Yeah. Kind of reminded me of that.
Yeah, fair enough.
That's all I've got, though.
Nice. This leads to our final rating of the Simpsons' very first Treehouse of Horror. Blairski, out of 5 drooling, disgusting, but yet very hospitable space creatures, what do you give the very first Treehouse of Horror?
I'm giving the very first one 4.5. Drooling, disgusting, but very hospitable space creatures out of 5. Love the whole episode, minus the Raven a little bit. That's why it loses the 0.5. But it's The Simpsons, man. It's great.
Yeah, I'm going to give it 4 drooling, disgusting, but yet very hospitable space creatures out of 5.
Yeah.
Like you said, it's The Simpsons season 2. They're still trying to find their groove. But it's The Simpsons. It is so good. I love the Treehouse of Horror episodes.
Yeah, so do I, man.
Yeah. But for Reviews That Scare with Jess and Blair, I'm Jess.
I'm Blair. Thanks for listening, and remember to stay scary.
And eat every sandwich. Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to Reviews That Scare. Make sure you check out our Linktree at linktree/reviewsatScare. That's linktr.ee/reviewsatScare, which has links to our Instagram, YouTube, Patreon, Twitch, and many other things. If you'd like to email us, you can reach us at reviewsatscare@gmail.com. Thanks for listening, and remember to stay scary and eat every sandwich.
A proud member of Pod Nation TV.